All right, welcome everyone to the show. I hope I'm not too loud, or I hope I am loud enough. I think I'm screaming. And I think I'm good now. I just had to lower down a little bit of that volume, and here we are. Welcome to Thoughts on Bots. That's the new name of the show. I've decided that's the new name of what we're calling the show. It's going to change each week, and each week we're going to get 1% better. 1% better. Thoughts on Bots with Geartooth Red Jefferson. Welcome to the Gear Sphere. This is Geartooth in the Gear Sphere. Sound off in the chat. Let me know you're here. We've got a lot of new things here. I've got hair, if I wanted it. If I wanted hair, I've got hair. That's pretty good. Also, when things go awry, I will be a nurse. And I also, if things are on fire, I am a fire hat. Doing it live brought me here. Oh, Redley697 is here. Thank you so much for joining. Just sound off in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts on this show tonight. We had a lot of things going on in the show tonight. Let me know if I sound okay. Because I sound, in my headset, I sound terrible. And your audio is clipping. Ooh. Oh. Don't know how to fix that. Is this better? Let's see what this sounds like. I sound terrible. And your audio is clipping. Ooh. Well, we don't know how to fix that. So hopefully it gets better. You're going to have to let me know, fam. You're going to have to let me know how it's going. This is the Gear Sphere, as I mentioned, BattleBots. We're going to be reviewing tonight's show. There's a lot of action. Tonight. Let me know what you thought of the show, and also let me know what you like about the Gear Sphere. The new additions here. Chica Mark says you're not loud, but still sound a bit distorted. Ooh, I don't know how to fix that. There's got to be a way. We're going to find out together. I'm going to go to the mic, go to properties on the mic, and I'm going to change it to the... Now I sound worse. I probably sound worse. I'd imagine I do. Now I'm going to go back to the properties and going to put it back on the Yeti mic, and we're going to see how that does. See, now we're all working together. That's part of the fun of this show, because it's a real DIY. Still let me know how I sound. Now I'm going to go back to the properties and going to put it back on the Yeti mic, and we're going to see how that does. I think that's better. Well, we're going to get started with the show, because we have a lot to cover. And I can't be messing with the mic the entire time. There's only so much I could do. First off, I'd like to thank everyone who who's watching, supporting Thoughts on Bots and Geartooth Red Jefferson. And like I said, each week I'm getting better, 1%. But there's Bo Levin in the chat. He had some interesting thoughts on the past show. And also Chad Robbins thinks I should do like Batman style, still bad audio, Batman style booms and pows. Don't know how to fix any of this. Sounded better, but we're quieter. Gosh, damn it. I have a feeling it's something to do with this mic. I'm telling you that much. I have a feeling it was that. And now I'm back on. Let's see how that is. I think that might be better. I think I sound a little bit better. In my brain, I do. We're going to hope. Let's see how it sounds. I have a feeling it was that. And now I'm back on. Let's see how that is. We're going to try. Well, this is the best we could do today. We have to get to the show, because when people watch this later on, they're going to be like, oh, I can't watch this because all he is doing is working his audio. Keep telling me if it's doing well. We're going to our first match of the night. First bout of the night. Maybe I have to stand away from the mic more, because I am screaming. We have to keep in mind I am screaming. But that's just who I am. Here we go. This first match of the night, we got free shipping versus uppercut. Let's take a look at free shipping here. And by the way, this was a real surprising matchup for me. Free shipping here, lifter bot, fiery lifter bot, very fast, great driver in Gary Jin, but bless their hearts, they never win. They always. Roy's in the chat saying, what happened to my helmet? We have, you missed it. I don't know if you were here earlier. I have hats now. I have a fire hat, this hat. I have a lot of hats now, so I can't really do the helmet. But then we got this free shipping here. It's a lifter, fiery lifter, a lot of flames coming out of it driven by Gary Jin. Big Bad Gary Jin. Bless their hearts, they never win. They're going against UPPERCUT. This is the MIT team. They won last time against Gigabyte, which isn't a great win, but they have a very powerful punch and pop deal. The vertical spinner with a fist on it. It's very cute, but it's also very deadly. Well, what we get in this match wasn't a long one. We get Gary Jin kind of getting underneath UPPERCUT a little bit. And I thought this was looking good for Gary Jin, getting underneath, starting to push around. Then he put on that flamethrower. There's just a little flamethrower shooting out. And then he goes right up to UPPERCUT. Boom! Big explosion. Big explosion we get. It was very, very hot in there. Flames everywhere. Second time UPPERCUT has exploded someone. Second time we get UPPERCUT exploding someone. Last time they exploded Sawblaze because they had the flamethrower too. And then we get that. And Lord, but they don't last long. Then they lose a tire. We have the tire thing here. It rolls away. And then UPPERCUT pushes it over to the screws. And that's what we get, a count out. KO on the screws. And so, yeah, well, I honestly, if you look at the scoreboard here, UPPERCUT, I had UPPERCUT winning. This is Red's picks, by the way. This is Red's picks. These are the ones that I picked for the night. And we have clearly free shipping UPPERCUT. I wanted free shipping to win, but UPPERCUT's going to win this battle. And this is what we get. UPPERCUT with the big victory. Everyone sound off for that. We have some comments here. Roy writes, I bet on the main event and I lose. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I could have told you, but we'll talk about that later. Kelsey writes, hilarious name. Are you talking about free shipping UPPERCUT, or are you talking about Thoughts on Bots? Because I think Thoughts on Bots is pretty good. Apollonia writes, Geartooth, you sound great, but I need a hat on at all times. Okay, if you need a hat on at all times, we can make this happen. At existing hat. Hat 1. All right. There we go. Ooh, there we go. It's gonna have to float above my head there. I can't just stay and put. Okay. But yeah, so we got UPPERCUT winning here. I can't mess with the hat all day. And actually, when I go to the next scene, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. So it's all for naught. Keep sounding off in the chat what you think about UPPERCUT. Moving on, we got to get the Blacksmith versus Shatter. By the way, just big explosion in this match. I know a lot of people are looking for explosion graphics, and you got one in this match. Moving on, we got Blacksmith versus Shatter. Blacksmith versus Shatter. Let's talk about Blacksmith here for a little bit. Blacksmith, they are 1-0. They got a victory against, what's their face? Free shipping. And I like what's his face? I like this bot. I'm trying to get Fireman bot, and it's way too big. It's way too big. Oh shit! See, this is what happens when I try to please people. I'm trying to get everyone happy. Everyone's supposed to be happy on this show, and I just want to get a fireman hat for my big old head, and we're gonna get there. That's gonna have to do. This bot, it has a hammer, a power hammer he calls it. It's an axe. It's an axe hammer, and it's not as good as other axe hammers out there, but it does cause more damage than it used to. But he's a great driver, and he's going against Shatter. Shatter. These are both hammer bots. Both hammer bots, but one is just more effective. Instead of a regular hammer, this guy's got spikes. He's got a hammer spike, and so it's much more effective. It's got magnets on it, so it's stuck to the ground. It's stuck to the battle box, and it's hard to get underneath, which is what Blacksmith was hoping for. So I definitely had Shatter going over in this match. In a battle of hammers, it's Shatter, even though Blacksmith does have the fire, but either way. So what we get a lot of here is they're dancing around each other. They're doing a lot of dancing here. And Shatter breaks first, goes in, smashes up its belt, smashes up Blacksmith's first belt. So now it has that rotating, it has the hammer still working, but the rotating axe part is no longer working. So it's basically just like, it's like hitting someone with like one of those plastic batons. I'm not sure if that's a good description. Then just starts punching around each other. Blacksmith still is getting some hits in, but it doesn't really matter. Then it breaks the second belt. It breaks. Shatter breaks the second belt on Blacksmith. Now it's just dancing around. It has nothing. It's basically a wedge bot. And this bot, I think the hammer's called the Mary Special after one of the builders, and just beating away. This goes all 3 minutes, and it goes to the judge's decision. And to no one's surprise, it's going to Shatter. Shatter did a great job here. I like Shatter a lot. I don't think this configuration or this weapon is the best configuration, but we're going to have to find out as the bots continue and as we find out more about these players here. We got some comments here. Just make the show about hats, RedLead697 says. Know what your audience wants, Geartooth. That's a good point. I think hats are going to be a bigger part of the show. I think we could all agree that the hats are pretty important. But I have to get them onto each one. I'm going to stop messing around with hats for now. I'll go back to them as needed. Thank you all so much for joining us. Sound off in the chat. But what we see here is I did have Shatter going over. As you can see here, I have Shatter winning against Blacksmith. Good old Red is doing great today. Geartooth has got his mind on which bots are happening, which ones are moving forward. So let's see if it continues for me. We get Jaeger versus P1. Jaeger versus P1. Okay, so Jaeger, we got some new bots here. This is a multi-bot. So there's 2 different bots here. Now, I know what you're wondering. You could have 2 different bots in BattleBots. Yes, you can. Now, the rule is they have to be 250 pounds. So your bot can't exceed 250 pounds unless it's a walking bot. Then it could go up to 500. But let's not talk about those because those are pretty trashy bots and no one does them. But 250. But you could have 2 bots that are under 250 total, or 3 bots, or 4 bots. There's the 4 horsemen. Terrible team of paperweight bots that just get smashed up. It's just a waste of time. It's a waste of everyone's time. But what you got here is 220-pound robots. And then they had a little baby distraction bot, nuisance bot, what do you call it? Mini bot. And so you got one horizontal undercutter spinner here. And then you got this hammer saw one in red. And let's see how they fare. They haven't had any matches yet, so we'll see how they'll do against P1. P1, our favorite race car bot with this little lifter here. It's very cute, very fun. But it's who's it driven by here? I got more information than this. Brandon Zielinski got a big win over Valkyrie this year. Big win over Valkyrie. So we were all very excited to see them perform again. I wish we got a better bot for them to face because I think they deserve it. So we get this match. And P1 race car bot races in and starts smashing up these guys. But what happens is that little mini bot gets wedged right underneath P1. So these bots start circling. It's not moving. P1 race car bot not moving. So these bots are circling around it, and that undercutter starts going at its wheels. But luckily, it gets unwedged, then starts zooming around, beats the shit out of that little red bot, and that red bot flips over. We can't have it flip over the entire time. I know everyone wants that. Jesus Christmas. We had to flip that one over again, rotate 180 degrees. We had to flip this one over just so everyone could get the fun visual effects that this show is known for. So the red bot gets flipped over, but that green and white bot is still active, and P1 starts pushing it around. There's actually a level. I do not have the level here. I do not have that. There are some streams that have very fun 3D digital BattleBox arenas. We're not in the BattleBox. We're in the Gear Sphere. So we're going back here. It starts flipping it up. It starts flipping up the that little horizontal spinner onto the second level. Flips over once. It starts getting a count up, but then it flips back down. But P1's not done. Goes around, zooms up, puts it right back up there, and gets the 10 count. We get P1 being the victor here. And honestly, no surprise with a lot of new bots. For the most part, when they don't have experience, you're not expecting them to win. And P1 is just a really good bot. It had a tough time last year, but I think it's really found its ground, and we're all excited for it. We're all excited for P1. And you know who else is excited for P1 winning? Old Geartooth, because Geartooth had P1 winning against Jaeger. I didn't even know who Jaeger was. And if you want to see my predictions, you could find it out on the Loser Leaves Wrestling TikTok. I gave some predictions there in a very colorful manner, as we're all accustomed to from Geartooth. Moving on. We got to keep this going. Sound off in the chat. I see you all here, but you're no longer sounding off, and that's very important to the show. It's very important to the show. Interactivity. Interactivity. We got HYDRA versus Gruff. HYDRA versus Gruff. Okay, let's talk about the Ewert family again, I suppose. We got HYDRA here, very powerful hydraulic flipper, run by the Ewert clan. And yeah, they call themselves clan, which is already very disturbing. And it's run by Jake Ewert, the worst one of them all. Cheaters they are. But here they flipper, very powerful. It did very well last year, and it's well driven. It's well designed bot by an evil man. But it lost this year. Lost already to Endgame. It couldn't get. It was having some mechanical issues apparently, and it couldn't really get its flipper going too well. So we were a little worried. We were a little worried. Well, they weren't. I wasn't worried. I'm glad. I'm pleased as punch. But they were worried because they're going against Gruff here. I like Gruff. Gruff is this grapple bot with a flamethrower, the hottest flamethrower. And who's the guy? Sam McAmos. He looks like Bobby Moynihan if he went through hell. And it's a very durable bot. And who did it win against? It won against the new bot Switchback, so it was a big win, but it has a lot to do. Let's see how this fight went, but first let's look at these comments. Kelsey Rogers writes, honk honk. Kelsey says, I have a tummy ache from too much twisted tea. Oh man, you gotta cut those twisted teas with something. You gotta cut twisted tea with like you know what you cut twisted tea with. Cut someone like it depends on what you have, but if you got a little apple cider, a little spiced apple cider, and put some twisted tea in there, that'd be pretty nice. Because honestly, those are too tart. Twisted teas are too tart. Sound off of what you think about twisted teas. Ridley says, why is he evil? Because he's a cheater. And Jake Ewert, captain of HYDRA, he went in a fight against Huge. And we all know Huge. Huge is the one with the big wagon wheels with that big blade in the middle. And it's a cool bot. What he did to kind of counteract it, because he was going to get torn up facing that bot. You can't flip that thing. What he did is he put this big bike catcher on top of his bot and basically created this very disruptive, very not in the spirit of BattleBots fight. And what happened was, I can't get into this all day. It was just he's a bad man. Let's just all agree that he's a bad man. So what we get here, Gruff goes right for it. Gruff goes right into him. He's getting underneath a little bit. He's getting underneath HYDRA here, but that doesn't last for long because then HYDRA starts getting underneath Gruff, and we get some flips. We get some. I'm not going to illustrate the flips each time because I can't do that. Flip, and then it goes underneath. Flip, and we get these mini flips because for some reason. It's not a powerful flipper today. It fixed some of the mechanical issues before where it couldn't flip at all, but now it's getting these weak little baby flips. Flip, and then it flips it onto its back, onto a back a few times. It rights itself, but then it flips it outside the battle box. It was terrible. And we're gonna have a nice 180-degree flip there, and it flips it outside the battle box, and we get Jake Ewert and HYDRA with their first victory of the season. I know we're not happy about this. No one's happy about this. I'm not happy about this. I was expecting Gruff to kind of get underneath him a little bit, torch him up with that flamethrower, because if you get this guy on his back, I don't think he could right himself. I don't think he could right HYDRA. But we get HYDRA going forward. It was very disappointing. I know we're all pretty upset about it. I know I am. But we can't dwell on that forever. Because we got some more hard-hitting action. Honestly, the best fights of this night were at the beginning. The beginning of the night had some great action, and then I had some severe disappointment going forward. Because, just even with this HYDRA match, let's just talk about my win streak. This is the first one that I didn't get of the night. First one. So it was Gruff versus HYDRA. I had Gruff going over, and HYDRA won. I don't know why I picked... I know why I picked Gruff, because I hate the Ewerts, but honestly... HYDRA's a good bot when it's working well. I can't blame the bot. I have to blame the person who drives it. Moving forward, we have Gigabyte versus Captain Shrederator. We'll talk about Captain Shrederator in a second, but here's Gigabyte. Gigabyte is run by John Vladnik. Full body spinner. Old school full body spinner. It's got these lame-ass flames on the side. John Vladnik makes a lot of like ex-wife jokes. It's really pathetic. And he lost the uppercut earlier. And then you're having a full body spinner here. Full body, lot of energy, going up against another full body spinner. And you're going up against Captain Shrederator. Captain Shrederator, terrible, terrible name, run by Brian Nave, also a full body spinner. But it got a big win this year against Tombstone. Huge win against Tombstone. Surprising win. No one was expecting it. I certainly wasn't. And they're going to fight each other. And I was actually pretty excited for this match because for two full body spinners going at it, one of the first questions on the show is, do bots ever kiss? They kiss when they're full body spinners. They like, let me show you. They like bounce against each other. It's kind of cute, but so they go into the match, and this is going to be a match that's just going to, one of the bots has to break. This isn't going to be a 3-minute match, and they tap each other once, and then Gigabyte goes flying. Captain Shrederator is looking pretty good right now. They go towards each other again. Then Captain Shrederator backs away a little bit. Then it stops moving. It just stops moving. And then it just goes, it's about to hit again, and it stops spinning. The whole fucking thing. The bot died. The controller, the remote control died on the bot in the middle of the match. It was just terrible luck because honestly, Captain Shrederator has some bad luck when it comes to reliability. I think it has a lot of promise in the design aspect because I actually like it more as a full body spinner than Gigabyte. But man, does it poop the bed every fucking time. Like besides that Tombstone fight, which was a shocker, it's just very upsetting. Redley says, your ex-wife is a full body spinner. What are you doing here? Bo Lavin, damn, this fight was disappointing. Thank you so much, Bo, for joining in the chat. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to everyone. Chica Marks, Redley697, Roy, Kelsey, Apollonia, or Dog Farts, as we affectionately like to call each other. And Bo, of course, thank you so much. But Gigabyte wins here. Very disappointing, because I was expecting some big happenings, and we didn't get it. We just didn't get it here. And look at me with all these new graphics. All these new graphics on the side. I got explosions, I got fire, I got this new freaking... Oh, shit, what did I do? I got this new background here, and there's new graphics, and this is the type of thanks we get. And it's another loss for old Red. Why did I go with Captain Shrederator? Who goes with Captain Shrederator? I know, like, Gigabyte isn't, like the freaking... Captain Shrederator beat Tombstone. Captain Shrederator beat Tombstone, and I was hoping for that as well. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I know Bo's disappointed, and as am I. All right, we're going on to another big disappointment for me. Another huge disappointment. Here we are. We got Dragon Slayer here. Kind of lame name. Brand new bot run by a guy named Jordan Neo? Jordan Neo, I think his name is. But it's called Dragon Slayer. It's kind of a cool looking bot. It's this vertical spinner right here. Very nicely painted. Very nicely painted. And brand new to the BattleBots. So I wasn't expecting much from this guy, especially when it's coming from Duck. My favorite bot, historically speaking, I don't know if I'm going to have to, I could say that too much longer, but we got Duck here. Bless Duck's heart. Duck is supposed to be an unbreakable bot breaker. This is supposed to break your bot. This is supposed to get up into your grill, cause your weapon to break your fist with its face. That's the fun saying there. And in past seasons, it did just that. It goes toe-to-toe with people, bounces around the ring, but it's just not happening anymore, especially against the new guy. What happens is they go up to face each other, they kind of circle a little bit, then this bot just bumps into him, breaks off its beak on the damn Duck, starts breaking, chipping away its beak. At the end of the match, it goes the full 3 minutes. I'll tell you that much. Spoiler alert, it goes the full 3 minutes. But, like, it's this pushing match where it just keeps chipping away at its beak to the point where it's a nub. And, which is very cute, though, the Duck makes quack noises, which is very darling. We're all very happy with that. But it's just not... the design, I don't like this new design. I don't like this new Duck Bill. I like the old Duck with that big metal plate with a small little beak. I do like the quacks. The quacks are important. I understand why the quacks should be there. Really brings this duck to life. But man, do I not want to see Duck lose to a bot called Dragon Slayer by a newbie. By a newbie, this bot wins. And yeah, guess what? Guess what I choose? Guess who I choose to win this? Duck. I chose Duck to win this. And this is very upset. Very upset. Tell me what you think of that. Tell me what you think of Duck. I want to hear your thoughts on Duck. But we get another loss for Red, but a big win for the newcomer Dragon Slayer here. A round of applause, a couple of honks for him, because we can't give any honks to this goddamn Duck anymore. I'm sorry. You're not joining me, tuning in to hear me badmouth Duck. We have to move on. We have to move on to the main event of the evening. The main event. Endgame versus Witch Doctor. Endgame, which is the last year's champ. New Zealand people. They're from New Zealand. That's how you know. Jack Barker and Nick Maybe. Nick Baby's the builder, and I think Jack Barker is the captain. It's a vertical spinner, very low to the ground, prides itself on getting underneath everyone. And it's got these forks, actually. They don't show it here because this is just the picture I had. But it has these forks to kind of get underneath you. And it's supposed to get you know what I mean. It's getting underneath it to get big hits. We already know what's going on. But with Witch Doctor here, they had some great seasons in the past. This is a double vertical spinner. Drives really well. It's run by Andrea and Mike Lately. Very cute couple. Very cute couple with their little Witch Doctor hats. Which is kind of appropriation because I found out they're not from New Orleans. They're actually from Florida. So what are they doing? They're two white people from Florida calling themselves Witch Doctor. I don't know if I appreciate that. But here we are. And okay, so I wanted Witch Doctor to win because I don't like Endgame. I kind of find it a boring bot. And I'm tired of vertical spinners. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm a little tired of vertical spinners. But at least Witch Doctor here is a pretty fun driver. So what we get is they start going into each other here, and they're kind of tapping each other, giving these little love taps. And it's looking a little evenly paced here, but then all of a sudden, boom, big hit. We get our first flip of the show here, and then we get another big flip. There we go. And just big hits coming out from Endgame. They're just kind of taking them to school here, knocking them over, knocking them this way. Endgame, Witch Doctor keeps finding a way out, trying to circle around. And then I think the biggest issue is what I think should have happened. I think Witch Doctor should have bull rushed them from the get-go. They should have just slammed into him because Endgame is pretty light. Endgame is a pretty light bot, and if you both have vertical spinners and you're just driving faster and harder, you would have flipped this bot out of a damn ring. But instead of that, you kind of weasel, kind of like tiptoed over to each other. And when you tiptoe over to Endgame's going to get, because it's got a bigger weapon, faster weapon, and it's lower than you. It's going to flip you around. So what it does is it flips him again, flips old Witch Doctor again, and they get the 10 count. And then New Zealand reigns supreme. Endgame gets the big victory. And I did get that one right. I did get Endgame going over here. But man, am I disappointed with some of these fights. Let's talk about them a little bit. Free shipping, uppercut, short fight, but boy, was it worth it. We love that explosion. Sound off for that explosion. Roy writes, yep, it sure was. Talk about disappointing. Yes, it was. Blacksmith with Shatter. That was a fun match. I think that was a pretty fun match, even though... pretty fun match. P1 versus Jaeger went exactly as I expected. And it was a lot of fun just to see P1 throw those bots around. Then HYDRA versus Gruff started to get a little upsetting for me because I lost and I thought Gruff was going to win, but HYDRA won. But it was still pretty action-packed. Then Captain Shrederator and Gigabyte, woof. Then Dragon Slayer and Duck broke my heart. If you were all watching... Man, you would have had a hard time watching me watch BattleBots tonight. And then Endgame versus Witch Doctor, which it was a good match. It was a good fight. But we get Endgame coming out supreme. Our discussion last week of who could beat Sawblaze. Sawblaze has been looking very dominant right now. Can Endgame beat Sawblaze? Yeah, I definitely think so. I think they will beat Sawblaze, but Sawblaze, I just want to see something different this year. I want to see something new. Please check the video resolution. The current resolution is 852 480, which is not optimal. We're gonna have to figure that out. But I think Endgame is a good contender to beat a Sawblaze this year. I think Uppercut can beat Sawblaze and has beaten Sawblaze. There's a lot of contenders. I was very hopeless last week, thinking that no one could beat them, but there are contenders here. We have to remember that. Boy, here we are back in the gear sphere. Not feeling too good after this show. Not feeling too good, but I have a bright idea. We should all tune in next week to find out more from Thoughts on Bots with Red Jefferson Geartooth, because I think I have a lot of things to say. We have actually also a petition. There's a petition made by my friends, not by me. I didn't make it. It's not me doing it. My friends made it, which is very sweet of them. Very sweet of them. But it's to get me on BattleBots because they're trying to avoid me. They're trying to avoid me right now, and that's their prerogative. But I think they can't run from me forever, especially if there's a petition that's signed with 1,000 names. So find that online. You could find it. I'll have it associated with my Instagram in some manner. But thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You're all so sweet. I need to get gears for my eyes. So that's what really good, because gear tooth or gear for my teeth. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Follow Loser Leaves Wrestling. Subscribe to the channel. Also follow us on Instagram, Loser Leaves Wrestling. We got a show. Not this Saturday, but usually on Saturdays. It's called the Weekly Wrestle, but we're every AEW Dynamite we're right after with Roy Lasowitz. But thank you all so much for watching. All of you are a pleasure and a joy. Thank you. Excuse the audio issues in the beginning. Maybe they're not fixed. Who knows? We're trying to make everyone enjoy you. Oh, Kelsey, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for watching. You're all a delight, and you all make me very happy. You all have a great night. This is Geartooth signing off. Bye.